it's much more easier to be rich in a less developed country than the first world, because here they know your coin, where you're getting your coin from A to Z. They're able to track you down. The system is so good, so efficient, that they know exactly what coin you're getting, where it's coming from, and all that. So for somehow, the government here strives for people to be comfortable, to get good education, to get accommodation, to be able to get free medical health care, free education, and those type of things. And these things work. So getting rich here cannot be rich as in other economies, or in less developed countries, if I was to say so. Why? Because of the way the system works, you know. In case you're visiting Sweden, do have it in mind that most of the Swedes do understand English, but the thing is, maybe prefer talking Swedish because that's the national language and most of the people are comfortable with that. So it's not unusual that most of the immigrants going to the US or coming to Europe in general do also come with a lot of expectations, whereby they want to make a lot of money, get the best jobs in the world. But I want to tell you that Sweden is a bit special, because one of those things that you have to do is calm down with your expectations. Sweden is a little bit different.
I'm not going to talk about much of my experience when I got to Sweden. It was horrible, literally horrible.
That was Sharon. I did get a chance to watch a video last week, and for some reason it really caught my attention, because she takes up things that affect our society direct. So a very big welcome, hustle a day here, and on this video we're both talking to the local people in Sweden, and also immigrants or people wishing to come and live in Sweden. We're going to look at what an immigrant expects even before coming to Sweden, type of mentality they have, expectations, how foreigners perceive Sweden and the Swedes in general. While for people or foreigners wishing to come to Sweden, we are going to look at those unwritten laws in Sweden that nobody tells you. Then we shall look at expectations in regard to language, migration, job opportunities, how the Swedes perceive foreigners, you know, like just the general lifestyle all around. So a very big welcome, hustle a day here, and wow, even before we move on, Sharon, who had relocated to Sweden, and then somehow things didn't go as she had expected, and so she opted to move back. So on this video, she talks about her experiences in Sweden in general, both good and bad. She takes up a couple of things which usually affect immigrants direct or indirectly, and that's why this video becomes crucial. You have to watch to the last end because you're going to get a lot of tips. But anyway, she starts by introduction, goes through how her life in Sweden has been, talks about Skellefteå, how cold it was. She's been to Malmo, and sadly enough, after being in Sweden for 5 years, she didn't make any Swedish friends. So on this video, we're also going to talk about the social life and what you as an immigrant should expect. She did also talk about job opportunities, language, transport system, and you know, those things that just you expect to experience while visiting this amazing place. So yeah, I hope the video won't be very long, but anyway, also we have to try and understand her from where she comes from, Kenya, where she took up the idea of having been born in a middle-class family, and she didn't have a shampoo at home. So she used to go to the salon to make her hair. And for me, I see a lady who has been very stable way back home. And also she did mention that she's that type of a lady who wants to be rich. She's very positive about that. And so I just had thought about it, and I was like, Sweden is the wrong place. Sweden is the wrong place. Yes, there are opportunities we shall take up as we move through the video, but when you come with that type of mentality, first things first, let's talk about her language, because she describes Sweden as a very bad place. And there's a word she used which I really don't remember. The Swedes as people, they do have a very mild language, whereby there are words that you rarely had, like what I had from Sharon. In case you're coming to Sweden, just have it in mind to watch your language, because this will either build you or crush you. What you say, what comes out of this is a very dangerous thing. So when you come to Sweden or other European country where they speak a language which is not your language, expect to have some few years of turbulence. Swedes, in the first place, are going to understand that you're a foreigner even before you open up your mouth. So, by you learning some few important words in their language, like hey, which is hi, for some reasons, you'll get easily acceptance. It can be quite quiet in Sweden because of many things. Here, there were the rules, but we shall take up about the weather a bit later in the video, but just the general weather pattern, that keeps you down. You know, Kenya is a tropical country, and so you get most of the people are out more often, and so they somehow have built this culture of socializing from the outside the house. Sweden is different. Our weather sort of like keeps us in the house. Yes, you heard me right. And also the Swedish culture. Swedish people are very how do I say, calm or maybe shy, you know, so that you find it can be a bit intriguing for a foreigner to even start a conversation. And also the Swedes, as people, have come to realize after being here for 15 years that they sort of like, they're more social within their own circle. You're in Sweden. You want to learn about the culture. Maybe you're looking for a job. You're looking for friends. So for some reasons, it can be good for you to take the bull by its horns and go and say hello to these people. When you do that, you'll find that the Swedes are not as calm or snobs, let me use that word, as foreigners may perceive. Clubs, go to the parks during summer. It's beautiful, and you get a chance to meet all these local Swedes or local people living in Sweden, and you can easily make friends. So yeah, but I do understand Sharon's case, because here we live, it's a bit different from where we come from. So where I work, I know how we operate, so we can discuss on one thing for not just 1, 2, or 3 times, on and on and on until we come to a solution. So usually the culture here is not for people to rush on things. And that's why something like fika is important. Fika is like coffee moments within the Swedish society. We drink coffee a lot, and this opens up a room for discussion and coming to a solution. So patience is one thing in Sweden that you really have to embrace. A couple of years ago, Sweden was on the front line of taking a lot of immigrants into the country from Ukraine, Syria, I think so, Somali, you know, like all these war-torn, uncomfortable countries. And so what I've read on the newspaper, on the internet, is that they do have a big backlog of applicants. And remember, Sweden is a very expensive country when it comes to labor. So I don't expect migration or Migrationsverket to be able to employ that many people to do the job. Rather, as we talked before, patience. I think I need some more water. Yeah, so Sharon talks about dating in Sweden, and I look at it like a double-sided sword, whereby in her case, she does give us a very good example of a friend of hers who was dating a Swedish guy, and one time they did go to the supermarket or grocery shops, and he, for some reasons, wanted to buy cheese, and the lady wanted cereals. Okay, so when it came to paying, She told the lady, pay for your cereals and I'll pay for my cheese. So welcome to Sweden. Before you even start dishing out your number to people, just have that in mind, that here there's that equality ideology, in which case you are not getting in a relationship with an ATM machine. Rather, it's purely based on love, if that's how I was to put it. And that is why I look at it like a double-sided sword. More so, being in Sweden, expect a Swede to be curious. So he's going to ask you 1,000 questions about your life, where you come from. So Sharon went to a town called Skellefteå when she came to Sweden. And there she stayed for, I think, 5 years, as she puts it on her video. So one of those things that seems to have bugged her a lot is the weather. And there's not so much somebody can do about that. When you're moving from wherever you're coming to Sweden, just remember that here the weather is very special. We do have 4 seasons in a year, and every season for some reason comes with its own beauty, and also the other side. So winters are very cold. She had 35 degrees up there. Oh my God, I know it. I've been there because I was staying in a town called Kiruna, which is further up and in the Arctic Circle. So weather is something that you just have to learn to embrace it. Look at the beautiful side of it. Autumn, we have all these beautiful leaves and colors around. Summer, it's more like party time. Winter, yeah, it's very hard even to smile to people, you know. And somehow this also explains about our social life, whereby at times it gets really cold, and you really don't have time to get out and to a social life. She talked about the Swedes not going to the university, and for some reasons I do understand how she's thinking, because, like example, where I work, most of the people have not gone to the university, though we have very good universities in Sweden. But if you come to this very well established family, I heard so they do push their kids to the highest level, you know. But a normal Swedish family, university is not like on the agenda. Yeah, it's important, of course, yes, but it's not like number one. Now, back to Sharon, where we come from, like in Africa, in my country, Kenya, it's not unusual to hear parents telling their kids that you have to study hard and go to the university, otherwise you're going to die a poor man, you know. So these are things that they really put in our mind, and so you get that most of the kids, while they're growing up, they strive to attain what their parents told them. Now, the trend for some reason is changing because of so many graduates out in the streets in an economy where they don't have jobs, and most of the people who are more daring are taking courses that give them job direct, you know. The economy of Kenya favors small-scale business enterprises and agriculture, while the Swedish economy is more corporate or multinational, so that the government is able to collect a lot of taxes, while in Kenya, you become rich by doing these small enterprises, and the government is not as efficient as the Swedish government when it comes to collecting taxes. So when Sharon talks about her life here being in a box, and she felt like she wasn't going anywhere, and also remember, she had talked of her being a lady who wants to be rich, this becomes the wrong place. And that's why I talked about you reducing your expectations when you come to these countries, because they're totally different. Now, yes, we pay a lot of taxes. Yes, the government there are taxes all over, and yeah, we have to pay it. But that's why we also get the best services. She does compare how a racist in the US and a racist in Sweden, how they look, you know, whereby she talks of racism in the US, where people are much more open, and if they don't like you for some reason, it can be religion, skin color, or whatever it is, they tell you right in the face, and she seems to appreciate that. In Sweden, she says that a racist will smile on your face and stab you in the back. So, yeah, I don't know how to put it. I think only Sharon can answer that. But the thing is, racism is there. I think so. The best thing to look at it is to maybe just focus more on yourself, because this is a problem which can be. I'll give you an example where I work within a psychiatry, and for some reasons I deal with patients who come in, and down the line, if you dig a bit, you'll find that they don't have work, which can be a reason why they even became sick, okay? So a racist in that situation will try to put you down, and especially being a foreigner, they'll come up with things and maybe say some bad words, you know. And so you come to realize it's because of maybe somebody feels that you came to his country and took his job. So that's just one of those things that as foreigner you have to learn to deal with, you know. And now to the good side, where she talks about patience. In Sweden, you have to be patient. And I think we took it before. I'll take it again, and I'll always take it. So just be patient with whatever you're doing. So you've come to this country, it's a new country, you speak another language, you don't understand what's happening. I think the best thing is try to just be patient, observe, and try to do the correct things. Don't get yourself in unnecessary troubles. Things are gonna work out. Thank you so much. Hustle Day here, and please, if you've not subscribed on the channel, do. We take different issues, so thank you once again for watching the video all through to the end. And if you know somebody who needs this type of information, please do share the video, and good luck with your adventures. Thank you, and bye-bye.